Is that
Hmm.
something like in terms of the advice that you give to your own students outside of the mats that they should do, like writing their notes? And if so, what other things are you actually advising them to do in order to, further themselves, not just in terms of the technique, because you can have the best technique in the world, but if you don't believe in yourself, it's not going to come to use.
Hmm. Yeah, so you've kind of asked two different parts. Here at my academy, we definitely have a culture of being a student. This is like getting an education, and when you go to school, if you're going to Harvard, a university, you're definitely taking notes, right?
Yeah.
You're learning from some of the brightest minds in the world. Your professors at Harvard, and they're going to test you, and so you need to be taking notes, right? Um, and you have to do homework. You have to study off the mats as well, or outside of school.
Mhm.
And that's the same. That's the culture we try to preach here. Is you are a student of martial arts. You have some highly accomplished, great minds to learn from here, and you should 100% be taking notes. We have a curriculum, and people are studying their curriculum, taking notes of their classes, and embodying that student mindset, which I think is very important. We try to preach that early on, so it sticks with them forever.
Mm.
And it'll only give you better results, 100%. Keeping a notebook, having your goals, tracking everything, writing down your questions, writing out your game. When you write it, you see it in your head. It's like mental repetitions,
Mm.
and so you can get those mental repetitions and fully like perform a move better without even having done it physically. But you got those mental reps. Okay, I need to turn here. I need to do this because you wrote it down, you saw it, you thought about it. So 100%, I bring that culture into my school, and it runs through the students, the instructors, everybody. That's how we teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu here. Beyond that, as far as the mentality stuff, it's just things you have to talk about. At the end of the class, in the middle of class, like the mindset everyone should have coming into their training, how to get the most out of your training and out of each round. If you're a bigger guy training with a smaller guy, play guard. Pull guard.
Mm.
Work your movement, work your defense, but force yourself to start on your back. Maybe you have a weakness, and that's the other person's strength. So don't avoid it. Let them get a little bit of their game going, and then you try to work your way out of it. Like I said, just always having a focus and limiting yourself. You can't, especially when you're trained with the same people every day, for the most part, your rounds tend to become, the same, right? They replicate themselves, especially when you become so familiar with each other's games. You kind of like, know how to play just right to avoid things, this and that. And next thing you know, you have the same round every time, and nothing happens.
Mm.
Nothing new happens.
Mm.
And so you have to, limit yourself, not always play your A game, go into their strengths, to spark improvement and make new things happen, try new things. So having that mentality, and that approach helps so much. Then as far as the confidence stuff and all that, that's something that I really spend time with on my competitors with, my team, the guys that compete. That's where it's really important for them. And one of the main things we talk about is just, of course, you need to have your auto suggestions, the things that you say to yourself, the self-talk. You have to have those in place, and that takes training, right?
Mm.
You can't just show up on the day of a competition and say, all right, today's the day
This
I'm
is it.
becoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. And you just start it that day. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You have to be doing it every day, the same way you train physically, technically. Um, you know, you got to be training mentally. You know, you're training your mindset, your mind power,
Mhm.
and you have to be feeding it, right? Feeding it quality food, the
Mhm.
same way you have to eat healthy. You know, what you say, the feed, the you know, the things that you uh, uh, read, you know, write, watch. You need to be inspired at all times, and everything has to be very positive. Your visualization, you know, meditation, all of those things help you control your mind, to where, you know, you believe 100%. You just believe.